as GLENCRAIG.
She Claare na Gael viscoil tire cartnish, a smilium she was aldacha. My name is Robert Cudin Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Have you ever had tell of old Bobby Bob?
And it's my pleasure to present this programme, Claare na Gael, which includes pieces in two languages, the English language as a Gilg, the Manx Gaelic, Chinian Amera, the mother tongue of Alan Vanning, the Isle of Man. As Bannacht and Durish, in the 1790s, David Robertson writes, or he quotes, that the Isle of Man is now almost the only place where there is any probability of seeing a fairy. And as I say, he puts that in quotes. It's a near quote rather than an exact one, and of course he uses that word fairy, but he gives us more on this topic. Rosh Madur Lucy Westenra bes henk Correbog Holjerachori, as we shire Arthur Homewood the Fegi. Ach, ren an olo van Helsing jaar naar haar soelvoy. Ta Lucy corbuiste mo carafi vaigi, as die shire de be na charamaida Arthurnies. Now, it was a song from Kernow, Cornwall, that won the Pan-Celtic International Song Competition on Thursday evening. Unfortunately, there's no way of bringing the songs to you, but this is the Manx winner from a few years ago, SHENN SCOILL, with Tayrn thie. Tashu geistjachrish, Radio Vanning, Stashu na Nashun, Viscoll Scalia Mach by Dúlish, Alan Vanning.
Strändes Morgens leuchten die Stunde. what as a for the form. Tad me tight, dat echt met me wie. Wie stred is morgens rost dat is verloren. Tad me tight, me wie. Tad me tight, me wie. Wie stred hem what as a for the form. Tad me tight, dat en met me wie. Wie stred is morgens rost dat is
Michelle Jameson singing the song Tayrn me thie, with which SHENN SCOILL won the Pan-Celtic International Song Competition in 2014. Now, David Robertson recalls the time he was working as a revenue officer of the Crown in Douglas. When I formerly resided in the island, he recalls, I one day took a ramble up among the mountains, and, being benighted, sought shelter in a lonely cottage. The sole tenant of this clay-built hut was an aged peasant of a pensive and melancholy aspect. He received me with much hospitality, trimmed his little fire of turf and gorse, and, quote, skilled in visionary lore, beguiled the lingering hours. Well, that last phrase is a quotation from a poem, Edwin and Angelina, by Oliver Goldsmith. About 1730 he was born, lived till 1774, and Robertson continues. From him I learned that, notwithstanding all the holy sprinklings of the priests in former days, the fairies still haunted many places in the island, that there were playful and benignant spirits, and those who were sullen and vindictive. The former of these he had frequently seen on a fine summer evening, sitting on the margin of the brooks and waterfalls. Hjas mi Ljoris van Helsing has doort me. Ah, well, een nien boch. Te she son for jere hall, shen and jere. Hien day a dowes doorte fietrom goeshach, gene, a trai, gene, ach een toyach ton. Tre vrij mi Jane of a menel, gerenneach creach jan as dansure. Genadmuch jino weg vos, weg, ach forchten as freelara. As nish cabdil trijag, Gilen and fairly Seward Claare. For she reish na meriw reich it son a lair gain, de vodach Lucy as a moir ve on look it kujach. Gauw mi ons lauwulju na reiches naglach voor moil, as rennen on look at der beisach, seilje gemaakt er au alten en a wirren, surren sljorish. Never bannit lesh, pert Jane Gortulid ro amesach egesen heen. Ere wen ren coolinen a shiration cherries on the meriw, lorish from ons acht trecht jelach, maar bres a gerge, trevier jit maag a shamer na meriw. Well, we join Linda, John and Jackie, who sing about the horned sheep, a ddafad gorniog.
Na gen I ddafad gorniog a carni bwys o wlan, yn pori mi'n yr afon ymysg y cerig man, ond aeth rhyw wsnon heibio a hysiodd arni gyd, I weled si byth mo'n afad, os gwn I welsoch chi. Mi gwelais I yn y bala, newydd werthu blan, yn eistedd yn ei chadir, blaen tallwydd mawr o dan, a'i ffribell aeth y baco yn snocio na bawd ffri, a dyna lle mae y ddafad, twd mor o John Hawdy. Mae gen I ar yn eistedd ar ben y pen mae mawr, mi es I droed yr wyddfa I alw hon o'i lawr, mi hedodd ei chywliom gyda hi, I eitha tir y werddon, twd mor o John Hawdy.
trio PLETHYN, Linda and John Griffiths, brother and sister, and their cousin Jack Gittins, with a song for a dance, in fact, a ddafad gorniog. Dwrdi, sfyr elen ti mor corp marw vanscher, smŵr y cer daw sirweisiach ori. Genelig de grei rauwer, de ginny few de smŵr dan cholocht ein. Gauw mi taasten de rauw van Helsing riw tannachten voor de wijn. Possible we sure wijn steed voor de gilje cushions lucht thie. Grauw mundje gere, as no, de rauw fame Arthur go back and now lie de we kiaull finish sirweis numerius on an egge, gedodgen corfis de pech be, as lizer quirre we courage oru. Leis an steed van gauw van Helsingus mis oren heen a corum de scrutige peberen, etc. Renne shadow de gin a geshen heen gin peber and Lucy. Vrami jay an or. No, de rami burish de be geshen marjori gin is de bollach femen leoil harsten, as marsjo a salmorus ginu burre enjach njau immerjach. Dansur edau. Ta fissem, ta was Jerud de ne tornair mish, commas fairly. Well, these fairies, whether playful and benignant or sullen and vindictive, were half concealed among the bushes, or dancing on the tops of the neighbouring mountains. He described them as gay, beautiful, and by no means so diminutive as the English fairies, adding that they were chiefly like women, but certainly more shy than any he was acquainted with, for they never permitted him more than a transient glance at their charms, and on venturing to approach them, they immediately vanished. These sportive beings, my host observed, rejoiced in the happiness of mortals, but the sullen fairies delighted in procuring human misery. These lived apart from the others, and revere neither beautiful in their persons, and were neither beautiful in their persons nor gorgeous in their array. They were generally enveloped in clouds or in the mountain fogs, and haunted the hideous precipices and caverns on the seashore. My host added that, to them, Manxmen imputed all their sufferings. The GLENCRAIG Scottish Dance Band with music for a foursome reel with Pipe Major Robert Matheson's tune, The Walrus. As scéal amach bhai dúlais an vanning, seoidú stasiún an asiún radio vanning. Sé Claire na Gael den Claire seo, Merenpín, Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach, as SHENN na Grey.
Did the other hear tell of old Bobby Bob?
As na Jerútsiú de vel Claire na Gael master Emedy podcasten J Claire and radio vanning, Keaton Jow the Jaru, vis regedden nasty trúd in the degger radio vanning, na trúd Cairder and podcast elia, Gorish Apple Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, na Alexa. Ach, Chanel Shawl, you Kujach Benton den Lai. Va fissed a sen tre renu shana toyach jor n vesh. Ta fyr elia am de chiana. Fuddy to be pebren elia on, Jane lid shaw. Chaus lore, gawe maag asel jor foggetjegge, a memorandum vine och von sochrish Lucy, as van neverepetjegge, as van neverepetjegge, gamel as neverepetjeg trevina kadla. Tret au feathen memorandum, gamel as tret au feathen mach weg mechion Tayrn Benansje Westenra te marunish, cor kujak uljun a paper neck a skriurish nach. Mahan, nim freilare on shaw sa chamber, as ons ear chamber en in a Lucy fudden as nim heen shirras on shen odders on. Canelli cart de valanier smuljenek heen, gold away ons lauwen jory. Chani mi lesh een jaren Jane overs, lug die Aurelia van mi een edden enem as enmas Tayrn Benansje Westenra, as skurish. Rejach wa peber en olio a ven vach, va ordig en bachtel courage benten den in it onlucky. Robertson's informant, the aged peasant of a pensive and melancholy aspect, tells Robertson that he himself had often heard them in a dark, stormy night yell as in barbarous triumph when the tempest was desolating the country or dashing vessels to pieces on the neighbouring rocks. Besides the fairy superstition, many of the Manx, like the natives of the Hebrides Isles, believe in the second sight, and in warnings and foresight of their own death. Sometimes, amid the awful silence of midnight, many have heard themselves repeatedly summoned by name to depart, and several in their lonely rambles have met with a visionary funeral, which, unseen by any other person, followed the man destined to die wherever he turned, till the apparition of the nearest relation then present seemed to touch him, when the whole instantaneously vanished, and the devoted wretch immediately felt a cold tremor over all his frame, and his heart affected with the sickness of death. Our accordion player Mike James is originally from Wales but moved to Brittany, and he joins clarinetist and singer Yves LeBlanc with some Breton dance music.
Avant-deux. Dans une citrouille, il y avait un crapaud volant, faisant l'amour à une grenouille qui se plaignait du mal dedans. Et la bonne femme disait, tu chiffonnes la robe de ma fille. Et la bonne femme disait, tu chiffonnes son petit tablier. La noce, la mariée veut s'y coucher. Elle a une puce dans l'oreille que son mari veut lui ôter. Et la bonne femme disait, tu chiffonnes la robe de ma fille. Et la bonne femme disait, tu chiffonnes son petit tablier. queue. Et Saint-Jean qui n'y croyait guère fit la culbute par-dessus le bon Dieu. Et la bonne femme disait, tu chiffonnes la robe de ma fille. Et la bonne femme disait, tu chiffonnes son petit tablier. Sont pleines, si tout va bien, auront des chats, des gris, des grands, des tous pareils, des petits, des gros, des grands, des gras. Et la bonne femme disait, tu chiffonnes la robe de ma fille. Et la bonne femme disait, tu chiffonnes son petit tablier.
Avant-deux de la Meziere, performed by Mike James and Yves LeBlanc. La Meziere is the French name of a commune of about 5,000 people in northwest Brittany. In Gallo it's La Meziere, and in Breton as Majuere. Scone va meer greme schiesse skriwen, tre, as in de zorm Kiaull van Helsingstjag se tjemer, as grei. Vodum koenaliat mechara John? Tammy Sair, as me vis cared out for them ginu sheer weestuts. Velo ang eden shen vau shire vraimi, as dansure. Geraumi shire veger lie, geraumi chres jail de gedden, as rem mi gedden ol you vaughan. Veger kuste skriunen as regeren memoranda, as gilen, as toyach dwach no roitjer. Ach, te dems an shaw, as eg a tre ton, ge jinmuch grey begman in gion. Nim corsilia a dunje bach vaster beg na berach, as les kied egge, nim mimmed jou, jcus jou. Trefas in a chulkion an overroin, doet rum. As nish machara John, liam de vodmuch gold a lie. Ta sin fame cadla, commas us as mish, as fey de lenige. Lena berach be moerena in de you ach nach, gen el femoren, that try. The Manx have also warnings of the death of others, says Robertson, at least so far as the following story may be credited, which I transcribe from Sir Cheverel's letter to his friend, the celebrated Joseph Addison, who, it's well known, notwithstanding a philosopher's illumined mind, paid some deference to the probability of popular superstitions. Sir Cheverel was William Sir Cheverel, who was governor of the Isle of Man from 1692 to about 1695 officially, but in practice until 96. His publication, an account of the Isle of Man, based on a survey that had been made in the early 1690s, and which was in an edition from 1702, was the basis for Volume 1 of the publications of the Manx Society in 1859. The work included his letter to the essayist, poet, playwright and politician Joseph Addison, who was a Fellow of Magdalen College, Oxford. And back to Robertson. And here he's quoting Sir Cheverel. As to the light being generally seen at people's deaths, I have some assurances so probable that I know not how to disbelieve them. Now, we've recently heard a couple of songs in Irish from 1968 by the band EMMET SPICELAND. Well, this is their Irish number one from 1968, Mary of Dungloe.
Oh, then fare thee well, sweet Donegal, the rosses and withal. I'm crossing the main ocean, where the foaming billows roll. It breaks my heart from you to part, where I spend many happy days. Farewell to kind relations, I am bound for America. Oh, then Mary, you're my heart's delight, my pride and only care. 'Cause what absence makes the heart grow fond, and when I am over the main, may the Lord protect my darling girl till I return again. And I wish I was in sweet Dungloe and seated on the grass, and by my side a bottle of wine, and on my knee a lass. I'd call for liquor of the best, and I'd pay before I would go, and I'd roll my Mary in my arms in the town of sweet Dungloe.
EMMET SPICELAND, Mary of Dungloe. And Sir Several has the source of one particular assurance he was given in mind. Particularly, he says, an ancient man who had long been clerk of a parish has affirmed to me that he almost constantly sees them upon the death of any of his own parish, and one Captain Latines, who was chief magistrate of Belfast, assured me he was once shipwrecked in this island and lost great part of his crew, that when he came on shore the natives told him he'd lost 13 of his men, for they saw so many lights going toward the church, which was just the number lost. Whether these fancies proceeded from ignorant superstition, or from any traditionary or heritable magic, or whether nature has adapted the organs of some persons for discerning of spirits, I cannot possibly determine. Rosh Majach the lie heishin the yin Lucy Wach. Van onlukkeder son sigere son junnoen overegge de mai, son van schemer kachleit de wei na chapelle achtant weg. Van moer end of leien ellen ben on, as va best jint go beggen grein oil as odyssey wei. Va kiaull of relien veriu, courage na lie herish en edin. Treren en allu chroma schies, as hiendea schiese, renshin en jis moeste egen eile droin, as na kindlen urge kier cor solis de loer de oil tas de maije. Va sledden eilet Lucy jitarash ons bes, as na urun wang ulsha, ons in het je cor monach en je meer neurde vis fjoge, gerouwedige cor arash eile de wei, derre de jaru gedot mi krel fenish me goelien, drau mi jean korp maru. Va komme trom chushach gier egen allu. Gerouwe vei graach or I morva mish, as gerou feim jer ons na soelien egge. Cornish band SOWENA with a tune called Saltash, the town on the Tayrn standing opposite Plymouth.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Stasiwn yn asiwn dy radio fan a si Claare na Gael fy sgol ar sgeiliau ma cartnish. Mish Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Have you heard tell of owl Bobby Bob?
Dúirt van Helsing rum. Tanniún seo der a hegemrís, as deg a chamber. Henke back leis len dorn de garlied thie, vain gistje va fegit sa halia, na rauwfosdit, as hug in a blaen master na firelia, as me girt al javi. Esh, gawi vain wan a leg a heen, choustai jane collier, crucifix beg era, as huggy a herish a veal. Huggy a vrelien ries an in a degga, as henkshin boy. Van mi cor me eidach Jim ons me chemer heen, tre, leis donk a doris mo rau lau, henkis jaach on, as chilirach awi toiach de lord. Len a verach, salje mus de chor leis dau rosh an lee, set de skinnen post-mortem. Wel feimine post-mortem, fry me? Te as chanel, tammy giri gin wa braid, chaneli sunach tausmunion. Tammy giri gyara jay a kionek, as goil mach a cree. Ah, us the fairly obreidach as chwish grey not. Well, David Robertson has drawn his quotation to an end here and remarks, so far, says Mr. Sir Cheverell. We may, however, without being guilty of presumption, impute these superstitions of the Manx to a native melancholy cherished by indolence and heightened by the wild, solitary and romantic scenes to which they are accustomed from their infancy. A Manxman, amid his lonely mountains, reclines by some romantic stream, the murmurings of which lull him into a pleasing torpor. Half slumbering, he sees a variety of imaginary beings which he believes to be real. Sometimes they may resemble his traditionary idea of fairies, and sometimes they may assume the appearance of his friends and neighbours attending some nuptial or funeral solemnity. Presuming on these dreams, which the Manx enthusiast accounts supernatural visions, he predicts, with several general descriptions, some marriage or death in the neighbourhood. Now, in 1957, the Manx soprano Joan Owen was taught songs in the Manx Gaelic by Mona Douglas so that she could take part in an international folk symposium. I think it was in Oslo. And here she sings one of those songs she's learned, and it's Mullach Ren. Joan Owen and the traditional Manx song Mullach Ren. When this prediction is lively in the minds of his friends, suggests Robertson, Should any such ceremony occur, it immediately, in their opinion, constitutes the Manx visionary into a real prophet. But should no such prediction be then fulfilled, the credit of his future visions is in no respect diminished thereby. I make no doubt but, amid hideous solitudes, a man of a melancholy or superstitious mind may insensibly form lively visions of some dreadful calamity he is about to suffer, and which may not only receive strength but even completion from a sombrous imagination heightened by traditionary terrors. With the world of spirits we are little acquainted, but I can never reconcile it even to our ideas of the majesty, wisdom, and benevolence of the deity, that he would communicate to a few indolent recluses such revelations of the unknown world as could only flatter vanity or accelerate human misery. And on that deeply philosophic note he brings us to the end of chapter 10 of his tour through the Isle of Man, published in 1794, but the tour actually was undertaken in 1791. Us, as tamia naganw, GLENCRAIG salaw nys y chri, gynna o brejan edder bios as bes, vis corfir elier kraw. O, ach naiden dau Jerud macharameen John, de rauwes graach ori, as chanelle Jerud et no de jinnums heen en ovraid, sein Dutch ach kuna. Bewaljam jinnoe noch, ach kunte Arthur chadaiden dau. Bieschen ser luk shirwees na merius on an erege lena berach, as nea giri fagani, faganen rid ton. Esh, treti ons a choffin, erlus on a nalei, die us as mish, chit de saw, trevis de cholio fech na gadle. Nimmage scoil na scrodden as fargel de choffin, as nimmage an ovraig ein. As esh, corolio ash, na bi fissig pecher bi, a limage an een. Ach, crein fed gino a chorer bi, ten beneg maru. Crein fe lotter a chop bach ek in fame. As man a wel famer be post-mortem, as veg rechasna by SHENN. Now, the last time that the Pan-Celtic International Song Contest was held before this year was 2019, and coincidentally this was the Welsh entry that year by the quartet Bwncath. This from an album by Bwncath. I hadn't realised it was their 2019 Pan-Celtic entry, but it won the Cân i Gymru, the qualifying for that, which is held on Channel 4 each year. This is the song Fel Hyn Dan I Fod. This is how we should be.
Pan oedden ni'n iau yn cyrffog mor fraer oedd na, a wydd crefydd y fal barhau. Rwan yn hyn, da ni'n styfnig a blin, ond hyn yn dal I wenyn hob llun, a ti'n ama'n grefod y byd, yn troi'n gynt nag o'r blaen. Wrth idd feddwl ei garlamu ymlaen, mor frwd, mor ddiwyd, fel mor thwyl a chyn, mewn ymgais I siapio dy hun. Ond fel na wyt ti, a fel yna ti fod, does na neb arall fel chdi yn bod. Wyt ti erioed wedi teimlo dan droed yr rhai hyn, sy'n deud na fi am erioed, glywys di'r ffaith, mae dim ond y iaith sy'n wahanol, sy'n dy ddal di yn ôl, ond mae'n anodd gweld yn glir pan wyt ti dan draed, a phan mae'r ofnau yn llifo'n dy waed, mi at lwyfan y byd y mae pawb yn syllu dawel yn byd ar ambell I gawr a'i twrws yn fawr ma' nhw'n bygwth ysgwydd seiliau ein byd ond a sylwais di ar y rhai ar y mylon y ffydd gymaint sy'n mysu am byw yn y tŷ a mor fawr yw cawr sydd yn caru gyda ar ôl concro'i gywilydd ei hun o fel ma' da ni a fel hyn da ni bod does na neb arall fel ni yn bod does na neb arall fel ni yn bod.
Lydir Glyn singing the lead there with the band Bwncath on Fel Hyn Dani Vod. This is how we should be. Bwncath is the Welsh word for a buzzard. Veg vias giish, dingen, de dolus dania, cren fed ginaway, gin alied shen, segia. Mar freget hugge a lawer Meziere as dorte, les meiche der skinthaus. Mechara John. Tammy Gael chimma de chribrish, a shinnaliamos na smoo no de valley brish. De rauw eble dem, jinnen Gael arm en ere tau gimmerke. Ach te ridden on aru na wel vised, ach bi vised aru. As korbanach dorm de wel vised, gerne veled nin ridden jaunasach. Now, David Robertson's chapter headings set the scene for what we're about to learn, so next time we'll be dipping into Chapter 11, The Mines, a beautiful cascade, Tinbold Hill, St. John's Chapel, Peel, its ancient castle, ruins of the cathedral, instability of human grandeur. Ach, nish the jar of SHENN. Chris Pearson will be here to present your Sunday chill out from 7 to 9, and then at 9 it's Judith Lay with Sundown. We close with Avant-deux, The Black Dog, the title of this track by Scottish acid crofters, Shugle Nifty. As Masaud Edda Nachirt, this is Robert Cutteen Carswell, Robert the Carslach.
Oh, Bobby Bob.
Wishing you a very good night. Eve, I'm a Crieri, as Ortserlier, as Meziere and Shed you will you.
G